guys, it's Vijaya back at you with another video, and in this one I'm going to show you how to make Goan pork vindaloo. This is a highly requested recipe and I've been spending some time perfecting it, and the thing that I've realized is that vindaloo is so easy to make at home. It's super duper flavorful, the meat gets so tender, and it's just so delicious. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like what you see, and of course if you're looking for the full recipe, just click that info box down below and everything you need is there. Let's make some vindaloo. So the key to preparing a vindaloo is to create an aromatic spice paste to marinate the meat. So we're going to start off by grinding a few dry spices. So typically for vindaloos, dried Kashmiri chilies are used, but I find that Kashmiri chili powder is so much easier to find. It's milder than cayenne chili powder, but it does pack a punch with its heat and fruitiness. We have some black mustard seed, earthy cumin, some fenugreek seeds. I love adding cinnamon to the mix, a little bit of citrusy coriander, some black peppercorns, which are going to add another element of heat, as well as some cloves. So now that all of our dry spices are ground up, we're gonna work on our fresh ingredients. So I have a ton of garlic here. I'm gonna add some sliced up ginger. I have a long red chili here. This is not typical in Goan vindaloos. However, I find that the fruitiness adds an amazing dimension to the curry. I'm gonna season things up with a little bit of sugar, a touch of salt to taste. And this is the signature flavor in a Goan vindaloo, and that is the addition of vinegar. Typically and traditionally, coconut vinegar is used, but I find that apple cider vinegar is a great swap. And now I'm going to mix up the dry with the wet to make an amazing paste that we're going to marinate our pork in. And look at that color. It is absolutely sensational. I wish you could smell this because it smells so good too. Now it's ready for the pork. Our spice paste is smelling so fragrant, and now it's time for it to hit the pork. Of course, if you don't want to use pork in this recipe, you can use chicken or beef, and in it goes. And then we're going to give it a nice stir so that all the flavors get acquainted with one another. This pork smells so good and it hasn't even been cooked yet. At this point, we want to marinate it, so pop it into the fridge for a minimum of an hour to overnight. Obviously, the longer it sits, the more flavorful it'll be. And while this is hanging out, we're going to chop up some onions. All right, so I have my onions scooped up into this bowl. There are a ton of them. I have my marinated pork and I have a pot behind me. Let's go make this vindaloo. So I've added about 1/3 of a cup of canola oil to this pot, and it's on medium heat. In go all my onions. Ooh, love that sizzle. And we're using a considerable amount of oil in this recipe just because it helps with all the caramelization of the ingredients. And we're gonna cook these onions for a good 10 to 15 minutes until they're nice and soft and brown. My onions are beautifully caramelized. They smell so, so good. Now I'm gonna increase my heat to high, and we're gonna add in our marinated pork. In it goes. And the key here is to cook it for about 5 minutes on high heat until it becomes nice and firm. And look at that color. So I've got a good sear on my meat. Now I'm gonna add in my water. In we go, as well as a little bit of salt to season. There's already some in the marinade, but just a little bit more. I'm gonna give this a nice stir. Look at that. And now I'm gonna let this come up to the simmer. I'm gonna put the lid on, and we're gonna let this cook for about 1.5 hours until the pork becomes fork tender and the curry thickens up. All right, let's go for it. This piece looks, oh, it looks so good. It's already falling apart on my fork. Let's give it a taste. I think it's gonna be a hot one, you guys. You guys, the pork melts in your mouth. There's a reason why I use pork butt for this. It has nice layers of fat as well as meat, and the fat just melts in your mouth. The meat is so, so tender, and that sort of fiery combination between the vinegar and the chili is such a winner. This is so good. Like, my mouth is still watering thinking about it. I can't wait to dig in, but this is great paired with rice or some hot chapathis or parathas on the side. So, so fantastic. If you like a spicy curry, this one's for you, and don't forget, you can make it with just about any meat that you want. I hope you guys enjoyed this Vindaloo recipe. If you did, feel free to give me a big ol' thumbs up. You know how that makes me feel. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe for more videos. As always, if you have something that you want to let me know, leave it in the comments box down below. Until my next video, I will see you all later. Bye.